Hi everybody! Today I'm going to show you how to do a one-stroke butterfly, and it's quite easy. Even though this looks like a really elaborate design, using a one-stroke and a 3/4 inch brush and doing the double-dipped flowers makes it very simple. If you don't follow me on Facebook or Instagram, then you probably didn't see it, but I did a few conceptual designs for one-stroke butterflies, and then I asked everyone to vote on which one they wanted to see. And this one by far was the winner. So if you want to see what that original design looked like, go follow me on Facebook, Instagram. It's Ariel Paints. You can find me really easily, and you can see what the original design looked like and some of the other designs that I'm still going to do, because there were others that I really wanted to do and nobody voted for those, but they voted for this one and it turned out really cool. I also think it's interesting because when you are trying to come up with designs in face paint and you're doing something conceptually on a design board, it never translates completely perfect. I like this 1,000 times better than I liked it on the board, because you just get a different result on skin. And as you're painting, I think organically you realize that you should put a stroke in a different spot based on the contours of a face, unlike doing the design on a board. So go check it out and see what it looked like. It was number 2 on the design board of 6 different designs. So you can look at that and then look at the final design and kind of compare the two. But regardless, everyone who voted, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys contributing to my ideas and helping me out. I love the way this turned out. It's, again, very simple and easy to do, and I do like doing one-stroke butterflies. I've traditionally always done them with a sponge because it's just how I do them quickly at events, but the way I've done this one and the way I've been practicing them is also very quick. So I'm going to challenge myself to do more of them this summer at events, because I know you guys will probably be wondering. The one-strokes that I used for this are 2 tag one-strokes, and they're both really pretty, and they're kind of in the same color family, which I do think helps when you're doing designs like this, especially starting out. If you can't think of different ways to mix colors, find a few one-strokes that are in the same family, and that will help. This is Tropical from Tag and Custom Made from Tag, both really beautiful one-strokes. Another tip that I would have when doing one-stroke butterflies is to use a rainbow cake, and I'm going to grab one to give you an idea of what I mean. So I will do a video with this cake and a one-stroke butterfly as well, and a lot of times I get questions from people asking how to know what colors to use together. If you're ever questioning how to do that, or maybe you're just starting out in painting in general, go for your rainbow cakes and split them in half. So if I want to do a one-stroke butterfly with this, I could use a 3/4 on one side and pick up the darker tones, and then use a 3/4 on this side and pick up the lighter tones and layer it. And I don't have to wonder if they're going to go together, because the cake already is kind of telling me these colors go together. So if you're ever wondering, how do I come up with a design or a concept, start with breaking down your rainbow cakes, and that can help you so that you're not like searching around wondering if, oh, this, one stroke goes with that one stroke. Just split up your rainbow cakes and use them as one strokes. I think that's a really good tip, and hopefully will help some of you guys that are struggling with design ideas and mixing different colors. So stay tuned and see how I got this look. And again, please follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and you can go check out the different designs that I started with and what people voted for. And stay tuned, because I'm still going to do some of those other one-stroke butterflies down the road as well. So thanks for watching, and here's how I did this one-stroke butterfly. Okay, starting with one of my favorite brushes, the 3/4 inch from the face painting shop, I'm going to do 2 lines headed down towards the top part of my nose. And then the first stroke is kind of a dip down, a wiggle, and a pull, if that makes sense. And just practice this motion. It's actually really instinctual once you do it a few times. And it makes just a really pretty start to the butterfly. And then I'm just going to do a loop under that, making sure to point all of the finished strokes towards the bridge of my nose. And then while that's wet, I'm going to go ahead and add some pretty purple glitter just to the outside of the butterfly where that dark maroon color is. And it really helps to add some interest. And then for the inside, I'm just going to do loops with that same brush. I have not even reloaded. If you load your brushes very, very well, they'll go a long, long way for you. And this is such an easy way to make little segments for a butterfly. So now I'm going to flip my brush over so that the dark maroon is on the bottom, and I'm going to pull it up into a peak just past my eyebrow. You can see that I'm pulling the toe of the brush up so that I have that nice peaked cat eye, and then using the heel to fill it all in. And that is the base for the top of our butterfly. Really, really simple, really easy, and you can do this incredibly fast at events. So for the bottom, you want to remember to keep it nice and tight. Do not go too far down the cheek. So to do that, I usually do one line headed towards the corner of my eye, and I am putting this out a little further than the top wing, but it's going to be much smaller. And then I do the scalloped loop and then another little loop underneath. Don't forget to add some glitter. And now I'm going to, here's a good shot actually of the shape of that. You could absolutely leave this and add some detail, but I am going to add in that other split because I am trying to mimic the design board that I did, because that's what everybody voted for, even though this ended up looking a little different. So now with that lighter one stroke, I am doing kind of what looks like antenna, but I'm doing them very, very close to the body. And then I'm mimicking that same stroke that I did in the beginning strategically throughout the design. I don't want to cover up what I already did completely, but I do want to add some interest. So kind of a line and then a curved wiggle and pull down into a loop. And then to fill in the bottom, I'm just going to use the lighter one stroke and do a couple loops and bring that nice bright orange down to the bottom. And that inside darker color, that coral in this cake, is lovely. So I'm going to make sure to fill that in with the heel of the brush at the bottom so that I get that. And I'm just going to add a little highlight on the corner of my eyes so that that stands out a little bit. And there's our basic shape with 2 one-stroke cakes. And now I've just loaded up my small petal brush with white and turquoise. And I'm going to do a larger flower in the center of my forehead, and then I'm going to drag petals up. And I do this sometimes by kind of dragging an imaginary line and then plopping them down, or just starting at the top and pulling down, just however you want to do your petals. And get my hair out of the way there. I'm also adding a full flower in the corner of the eye. And the contrast of those warm, warm split cakes and the blue flowers is quite lovely. I see why everyone voted for this one, because the contrast of colors is very, very nice. So then from the corner flowers, I am just going to drag them down the side of my face, and then I'm switching to a liner brush, and I'm going to do some fine lines going through the centers of all of my main flowers and the individual petals. It is important to use a liner brush when you do this. So now I'm switching to, I believe this is a number 2 or 3, and I've grabbed my bright yellow neon, which I love using for accents so much. I'm going to do those yellow neon dots inside my main flowers, and then I'm going to just do a few highlights. And again, going back to the conceptual design that I did, I had quite a few white teardrops on that design, but I wasn't left with a ton of room to add them. So I wanted to add that element in so that it still mirrored that original design, but I'm also trying to be cognizant of what's actually going to work on my face and what I know is going to look good. So I just did 2 at the top. I decided to add dots instead and then do some teardrops underneath that main flower. And then I am going to add a few on the corner of my eyes by those other secondary flowers. And a few down on the inside corner of my eyes. And then I actually switched those to the blue petal color because it just looked so much better. Now back to my liner brush with black. I'm just going to give a nice light outline, nothing too heavy. I just want to make sure that the wings are not getting lost. And I do love liner brushes. They take a while to get used to if you're not used to using a liner brush, but I just cannot live without my liner brushes. The lines are so delicate and so fine, and I really, really like outlining with them. And just a couple swirls at the top to kind of mimic antenna, but it also just gives it a nice whimsical look. This one looked a little light, so I'm going to go over it, and I don't quite hit it right where the original line was, so it kind of looks like a double line, but that wasn't intentional. So don't do that. Get it right the first time. Just kidding. So a couple little swirls on the side as well, just to mimic what I did on the top. And then I'm going to add some eyeliner just so that my eyes don't completely disappear. And I'm going to paint my lips purple and add some glitter so that I have a cool glitter lip, which I honestly forget to do at events. I should do it more because it looks so cool and I love it when I do it on myself, but usually my lines are so busy that I get distracted, and it's the thing I forget the most on little kids until they're walking away from my booth. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. As always, like and subscribe. It helps me out if you do that. And follow me on Instagram, Facebook. Tag me as always. I love seeing your guys' designs. And thanks so much for watching.